Hey guys, we have here our Dodge Hornet, and in this video we want to explain to you what to do in case you either have a little bit of air missing in one of your tires or if you're losing air more rapidly. So the first thing we're going to do is open up the trunk, and here we're going to look underneath that cover, and in most cases we're not going to find a spare tire here because those are actually extra. So instead we are going to find this little black box here, and that's actually an air compressor. So, and that air compressor we're going to use to fill up the tire in case there's just a small leak and we're losing air over time. That's the first case we're going to show you here. So we're going to take this out of this plastic bag that it comes in. So it's a relatively light little black box, and that also comes with additional instructions manual, which is a little bit cryptic to be honest to understand. And then in case we don't want to get our hands dirty, then there's also a little package here with some plastic gloves. Okay, so first of all we have here two hoses or cables that we pull out. So we have here this black hose that was connected to the wheel, and here we have here this clear hose. We're not going to take a look at this at this point, and that's going to happen later on. And then we have here, of course, this cable here that goes here to the 12-volt outlet that we have here in the left side of the trunk. We're just going to plug that in there. Okay, so once we have done that, then we can take our compressor and we're going to go to the wheel that we want to put air into. So in this case, this is here the wheel left. And we're going to position the compressor right next to it. And then we're going to find here the valve. That's this little black piece here right on the rim. And this usually has a small dust cover on it. So we're going to unscrew this and try to not lose it while we're filling up the air here. So now we have here the hose that we're going to connect to the valve. And there's this little black lever at the end, and that's supposed to look or point straight up at this point. Then we put the valve or connect the valve to the hose, and at that point then we're going to flip this switch over for the valve or for the hose to be tightly sealed. Okay, so then we have here the little pressure gauge, which should already hopefully show us some pressure, and then we're going to flip the switch here to turn on the pump. But in case it doesn't turn on, make sure you have the ignition of your Dodge Hornet enabled. So if the ignition isn't on, then there's no power or no electricity for the compressor. So now at this point we're going to flip the switch here and the compressor is going to turn on, and we're going to make sure that there's no kinks in the hose that was going to the wheel. And then we're going to show here, and we're going to see here that slowly the pressure is going to raise. Depending on how low the pressure is in your tire, it may take a couple of minutes. And you only want to take a close look at this gauge because you don't want to overfill. And in this case, we're going to fill up to about 37 psi. So that counts for all four wheels. So once we've reached the 34 psi, then we can turn off the compressor and then flip that switch here on the end of the hose again and then pull off the hose. And then don't forget to put that dust cap back on in order for the valve not to get dirty. Okay, so now at this point we can just take our compressor and put it back into the trunk. Make sure not to lose any of the parts. So I suggest to do this right away before we even leave, if it's safe to do so. Now in case our tire is rapidly losing air again and just doesn't hold a lot of air, then we have a different option to fill in this liquid that's inside of this metal canister on the side of the compressor, and this is supposed to fill in small leaks, to close up small leaks. In case you are in an emergency situation, then I would suggest to do that. And in order to use this liquid, you're going to take the black hose and you're going to connect that to the small hole that we find here on the bottom side of this canister. And at that point, we're going to take this clear hose that is right now tucked in on the side here, So instead of connecting that black hose to the wheel, to the valve, we're going to connect this clear hose. We're going to screw that onto the valve. And once we turn on the compressor, it is going to pump that liquid out of this container right into our tire. And that will hopefully close those small gaps that cause the air to leak out relatively quickly. Just consider, once all of the liquid has been pumped into the tire, switch over or disconnect that clear hose and switch over to using the black hose again. Now, I would strongly suggest to only use this method in case you're in a real emergency situation. Otherwise, this kind of liquid usually pretty much messes up your rim from the inside, and it's really difficult and more expensive to actually get this or tires fixed once you have that liquid pumped into it. Okay, so that was all it for this video. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have any more questions or comments, then please leave a message below.